Okay, it is 10 o'clock. I will call this Board of Fire Commissioners meeting to order. We will start with a salute to the flag. Chief Moore, if you could lead us.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the salute to our great country. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Alexis Hill, Chair.
Here.
Jeannie Herman, Vice Chair. Michael Clark.
Present.
Mary Luz Garcia.
Here.
Clara Andriola.
Present.
Fire Chief Charles Moore.
Here.
Deputy District Attorney Wade Karner.
Here.
And I'm Kathy Smith, Chief Deputy Clerk. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We will now go into item 3. Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 3 is public comment. Comment heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the Board of Fire Commissioners agenda. The district will also hear public comment during individual action items, with comment limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments are to be made to the Board of Fire Commissioners as a whole.
Madam Clerk.
Nancy Litchfield.
Good morning. I'm Nancy Litchfield, and I wanted to thank the Washoe County Board of County Commissioners for your commitment to address the climate crisis and promote a healthy and sustainable future for all of us in the county. And at the same time, now that I see all these wonderful members of our fire department, I want to thank them too for all their consistent work, and they are here to look after our well-being and safeguard our homes and property and our lives. Your recent steps to adopt that resolution to bring the CPACE to our county, which allows private companies to receive low-interest loans for renewable energy, resiliency, and other conservation projects, demonstrates your commitment to address climate change and encourage sustainability. Hiring a sustainability manager, Brian Befford, I also applaud. He was an individual who's energetic and passionately committed to finding ways to cut carbon pollution. All this demonstrates your dedicated efforts to manage climate risk, which I greatly appreciate. I came to speak as a climate advocate and to let you know that there are many members of our community who are concerned about climate change. Maybe you don't hear from us very often, but we are here. There are the bright green t-shirts who sometimes, I think, appear in larger numbers. And I'm with another group called Citizens Climate Lobby that is concerned about the fact that Reno is once again the #1 fastest warming city and the #1 fastest warming state in the country. And we experienced record-breaking heat, and we saw over the winter one atmospheric river after another coming and dumping rain on us. And for the first time, a hurricane came barreling up from California and caused some damaging flood here and a lot of chaos at Burning Man. But we feel more than ever that even though right now climate disruptions are more an inconvenience, they are going to be more frequent and intense, and we would appreciate you just keeping in mind climate as you make any of your past resolutions to promote what we need to do in this county. And I think our fire the department knows very well that should a wildfire come, it's a lot of work and there's a lot of risk involved. So I appreciate the efforts of everybody, and just keep climate change in mind as you take your actions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No one else has signed in.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We'll now move into item 4. Chief Moore.
Item 4 is Commissioner Fire Chief's announcements, requests for information, topics for future agendas, and statements relating to items not on the agenda. No discussion among commissioners will take place on this item.
Great. And Chief, you have some announcements for us, I think.
I do. I want to announce that open burning will be permitted beginning December 1st, weather permitting. There are some property owners that simply cannot take advantage of the green waste program and bring their waste to us. Large lot property owners need to be able to burn in place. So we allow that during the month of December. Adam, if I goof this up, let me know, but 1 acre inside the hydrographic basin and 2 acres outside of the hydrographic basin are the minimum lot sizes. So our website will show announce that, and we will have a call-in number so that people can make sure that it's weather permitting for that. I also want to announce that ash cans will be available on November 28th, the 30th, and then December 1st. Early on, when this district stood up, we had many fires related to ash cans and some from oily rags. I think it was then Commissioner Hartung that decided to push this idea to give away free ash cans. And since we've done that, we've taken the number of fires related to ashes being abandoned or mistakenly left somewhere where they can rekindle. That's gone to zero.
Wow.
Every year that we've done that. So we'll have a total of 200. It'll be on first come, first serve. They'll be available at Barron Way. And they usually go out within 2 days, but we'll do it for 3 days. And then finally, a topic for a future agenda. All the cooperators with NV Energy have been working hard on developing a consistent contract, the same contract between all the cooperators in NV Energy as the PUC had wanted. That is just inches away from completion, so we will bring you a new contract in December and have that ready to go, I think, hopefully by the first of the year. So very pleased to see that that is now wrapping up.
Yes, thank you for your leadership on that, Chief. I know that you were helping move that forward, so that's great.
I have to give a shout out to Chief Eisenhagen, who has done the heavy lifting on that. So
Great. Okay.
That's all the announcements.
All right, I'm looking to the board to see if folks have any announcements. I'm not seeing anyone signed in or going for that mic, so we will move on to item 5, our consent items. Do any commissioners want to pull an item or have questions on that item? If not, may I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Andriola. And Madam Clerk, is there any public comment on consent?
There is not.
Okay. With that, any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Thank you very much. We will now move to item 6, an exciting item. Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a number of employees, both career and volunteer, we would like to recognize, so we will begin, and I'll move down to the podium.
Wonderful.
Good morning. For the record, August Eisenhagen, Division Chief, Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District. Can I have Adam Creighton and Brock Harmon to the front of the room, please? It is my pleasure to present Crew Boss Adam Creighton and crew member Brock Harmon with the Golden Axe Award. On August 15, 2023, while on fire assignment in Idaho, these two personnel were involved in a medical response for a civilian. While returning to the incident base camp from the fire line, they came across a member of the public who had been involved in a UTV accident and had taken a 4-inch long branch to the abdomen. Brock Harmon maintained contact and care for the patient and collected information, while Adam Creighton took the role of incident commander. In the following weeks after the incident, I received several phone calls from external agency personnel applauding their actions and professionalism. One such follow-up was from John McNamara, Division Chief with Reno Fire Department. His written statement is as follows. While assigned to the Elkhorn Fire on the Payette National Forest this past August, I had the pleasure of working with one of your personnel, Heavy Equipment Boss Adam Creighton. One evening around 1800, as crews were leaving the divisions and heading back to camp, I heard HEQB Creighton announce over the command channel that he and his trainee had come across a civilian that was injured in a side-by-side accident and was declaring an incident within an incident and asking for advanced life support response from the incident. I had an approximately 30-minute drive down from my division to the main road. During this time, I listened to HEQB Creighton run the IWI from start to finish when local EMS arrived on scene. Creighton and his trainee had come across a civilian that sustained a severe abdominal injury when a large limb penetrated the floorboard of their side-by-side. Due to the remoteness of the incident, the civilian had been waiting for more than an hour for assistance, which had not arrived when Creighton encountered them on the road. During the incident, Creighton was cool, calm, and collected, directed a response from fire camp. The entire time I listened, I was impressed with how he handled the situation. When Elk City EMS arrived on scene, they took over care and requested that they cancel any further assistance, which Creighton did. Shortly after doing so, Elk City EMS determined that the patient needed to be flown due to the severity of the injury. Creighton then got on the radio and requested a helicopter through the incident communications. I found Creighton later in camp that evening and told him that the IWI was textbook, and he did a great job. We would be so lucky if every IWI went as smooth as that one. You should be proud of Creighton and Harmon and their work during the IWI, and know that he represented TMFPD very well during this incident, Chief McNamara. So in conclusion, due to the exemplary actions of Adam Creighton and Brock Harmon on the Elkhorn fire, both are being recognized today. It is my pleasure to present them with the Golden Axe.
And we'll come down real quick to take a photo and say congratulations.
Wait, I gotta get in there. Yep, slide in.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for your incredible work. Thank you so much. Come on, Chad.
May I ask Battalion Chief James Solero to come down? Commissioners, late Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, once said that he didn't hire smart people so he could tell them what to do. He hired smart people so they can tell him what to do. And so I'm really blessed with a staff that's just so profoundly good at what they do. I wanted to take a moment to recognize Battalion Chief James Solero. One of those very smart people who fit that proverb that I just mentioned is Chief Solero. I want to recognize him for his work over the past decade on fire hydrant systems. In addition to his role as battalion chief for the district, Chief Solero is also a licensed fire protection and electrical engineer. That speaks to how smart he is. And when the board stood up TMFR in 2012, the district had some responsibility for hydrant maintenance. And Chief Solero was the manager for that program for about a decade, and probably for a number of years prior to that for Sierra Fire Protection District. His vast institutional knowledge about the numerous water systems and the history of the development of the infrastructure within our district just was enormously beneficial to us. He was also instrumental in helping with the legal analysis of the hydrant maintenance and ownership issue, and I want to recognize him for his decade of performance and service with distinction. So, Chief, congratulations.
We'll take a quick break and take a photo.
Are we doing veterans next, I believe? Yes.
That's on our agenda, yes.
Okay. So Veterans Day is drawing near, and I want to take a moment to honor our employees who have also served in the armed forces. This pause recognizes their sacrifice and dedication to our nation and that service continues with their dedication to our community. These individuals have demonstrated exceptional qualities such as discipline, leadership, and resilience during their military service, and these skills translate seamlessly into the fire service. By acknowledging and celebrating their service, Truckee Meadows Fire and Rescue wants to show its appreciation for their contributions to national security and the values and the service they bring to our organization. So veterans that are TMFR employees, please come down and join me here. We have a long list, actually, of veterans that weren't able to be here, and I won't read off the whole list, but gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind just saying your name and your rank, and we'll just go across. So Sage, would you start?
Sage Coulter, United States Marine Corps, Mass Corporal.
Ed Martin, U.S. Navy, Hospital Foreman. Casso, crew member, Marine Corps, Corporal.
Adrian Martinez, United States Marine Corps, Sergeant.
Well, thank you for your service.
We have pins that not all arrived, but each member of our organization who is a veteran will be receiving this for their uniform as soon as they get here. I've only got one, so I thought it fair to wait till they all get here so I could distribute them, but I wanted to show you what we will be giving our
Wonderful.
veterans.
Well, thank you for serving our county and our country. We appreciate you.
Photo? Come on in here. Nice photos.
All right, final group of awards. Again, August Eisenhagen for the record, Division Chief, Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District. Can I please have Mr. Dennis Owen, Mr. Bill Garan, and Mr. Dave Walliser to the front of the room, as well as our 3 incoming station managers, please. While this group comes up, some backstory. Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District has always had a large volunteer program. And over the last 2 years, several of the personnel that were managing stations within the program have stepped back. Due to COVID-19, fire seasons, and normal day-to-day chaos, we haven't had a chance to recognize them. So that is the goal today. We'd like to take the time now to show appreciation for everything they have done for Truckee Meadows and the community. So first up is Dennis Owen. Mr. Owen is originally from San Diego County, where he started as a firefighter paramedic with the Poway Fire Department. He moved to Reno in 1978 and currently works for the City of Reno Streets Department. In 2017, he answered the call for volunteer recruits and joined the program. During his time as a volunteer with TM, he served as a station manager for both Lemon Valley and Palomino Valley fire stations, before moving on to other adventures earlier this year. Dennis, from myself, Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District, and the greater community, thank you for your service. Next is Mr. Bill Garand. Bill moved to Rancho Haven in 2006 and joined the Red Rock Volunteer Fire Department in 2008 as an EMT. In 2011, Bill completed his wildland and all-hazard firefighting and subsequently his engine operator credentials. 2011, he was elected administrative chief of the department and maintained leadership of the station until 2023. He says being included in someone's worst day via a 911 call has been both humbling and some of the most fulfilling community service he's ever been associated with. He thanks his family for supporting his time away and his fellow volunteers who give selflessly for the community of North Red Rock. Bill, from myself, TM, and the community, thank you for your service over the last 15 years. And lastly, for the outgoing managers, but definitely not least, Mr. Dave Walliser. Mr. Walliser spent 5 seasons with the United States Forest Service in Southern California before moving on due to injury. Since then, he spent the last 38 years working for several environmental management companies, excuse me, performing remediation, emergency response, confined space specialization, equipment operation, asbestos abatement, and groundwater contamination cleanup. Dave joined the Silver Lake Volunteers in 2008, where he actively served and ran the station until stepping down in mid-2022. While a volunteer, Dave completed both his Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 credentials. TM would like to thank Dave for his roughly 15 years of selfless community service. And while we have everybody up here, I'll introduce our incoming station managers that are replacing those that we just recognized, and then we can have a photo up. So incoming station managers, we have 3. First off is Mr. Steve Swiak. He's unable to join us today, but I'd still like to read his bio. Steve is a retired fire captain with over 35 years of professional fire service experience. Originally from San Diego, Steve began his career at the age of 16, serving with the United States Air Force in fire protection, and just completed 30 years of public service in Nevada. Mr. Swiak has been taking the lead with our Palomino Valley station since the spring of '23 and considers it a pleasure to continue to serve by educating and training local firefighters to be prepared when they are needed most by their communities. And we'll have Steve come to a different board meeting so you can meet him as well. Next is Mr. Doug Hulsebus. Mr. Hulsebus and his wife Sue moved to Rancho Haven 4 years ago and immediately began connecting with the community. After watching several wildland fires threaten the community, Sue and Doug met Mr. Garand and Rick Warren, the 2 who are currently in charge of the station. Both began attending meetings, and Doug joined soon after. When Bill Garand and Rick Warren decided to move into training and support roles, Doug was encouraged to interviewed for, and was appointed as station manager for the Red Rock Volunteers. Doug has a long history in management and runs his own business. His main goal is to build the number of volunteers in order to provide a greater service to the citizens of Rancho Haven and Greater Washoe County. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Doug Hulsebus as station manager for Red Rock Volunteers. And last for the incoming station managers, but again not least, Mr. Steve Fields. Born and raised in Reno, Nevada, Steve spent a lot of his younger years close to the fire service, with his father, Dave, serving more than a dozen years with the Forest Service, and some high school friends being volunteers in the region. After high school, Steve joined the U.S. Army and served in the first ever firing battery for the Terminal High Altitude Aerial Defense Missile System. While in the Army, he learned a lot about camaraderie and the family-type atmosphere that comes with serving. After leaving the military and working some warehouse jobs, Steve began a career as an HVAC and refrigeration tech, which is his full-time job today. His true passion, however, is wildland firefighting. Steve joined TM as a volunteer with Silver Lake Volunteers in 2018 after a wildland fire hit too close to home for his comfort. He's since been qualified as an engine operator and is currently the station manager for TM's Silver Lake Station. In his time off, he enjoys spending time with his family and time outdoors at the lake, riding his side-by-side, target shooting, traveling, and riding motorcycles. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Steve Fields as station manager to the Silver Lake Volunteers. That concludes our thank yous and introductions. Would we like a photo with?
Yes, and
how do
then
we wanna
to
break it
the
up?
volunteers, I know that Vice Chair Herman just wants to say thank you since you're all in her district. Vice Chair Herman.
I'm very sad to see us lose our chiefs that we've had, and I'm looking forward to working with the new chiefs, and you're all from District 5, and I thank you so much for your hard work, and as volunteers, it's really special to me, because I've always felt a closeness to the volunteers as they come down the line, because I was actually an honorary volunteer fireman where I lived many years ago. So thank you so much. We owe you so much.
Yes, absolutely. We'll come on down for a picture.
Veterans, I'd like for you to join us as well, and Chief Solero. Let's get everybody. Okay, so stand on the sideline and we'll get you in a picture.
Okay, great. Okay, super. All right, thank you all.
Veterans? Chief Veteran and Chief Waiter. Dale, you want to join us?
We'll look closer. That's all. Thank you. Thank you all.
And now we will move to item 7, Chief.
Item 7 is the International Association of Firefighters Local 2487 report.
Welcome.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Jamie Rivera, Local 24875 President or Vice President. We do not have anything for you for this month. Only thing I can say is we're looking forward for the future of 2024. And hopefully we'll set a meeting with you guys and we can share our strategic goals for ourselves and the district. If you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer.
Any
Not-
board questions? I'm not seeing any. Thank you
All
for
right.
coming.
You guys have a good morning. Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay, and now on to item 8. Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 8 is the Fire Chief's report. I'd like to give you a summary of the Hill Fire that happened on October 24th. When I mentioned that the area of the fire is under contract with us through Sierra County, California, so even though it's in California, we still get paid to make the response there. This was a critical fire in that it threatened many structures, and I'll let Chief Eisenhagen go through what had happened there.
Thank you.
Good morning again. For the record, August Eisenhagen, Division Chief, Truckee Meadows Fire. Quick narrative synopsis on the Hill Fire. The Hill Fire burned actively on the night of October 24th, 2023, starting at roughly 11 o'clock p.m. First detection was by the newly installed NV Energy fire detection cameras. During the previous year and a half, NV Energy has completed work under the 101 transmission line, which is the main line that connects Verdi up to Truckee, around where the fire started. And they did that utilizing personnel from both Truckee Meadows as well as numerous other local cooperators. And that came into play the other night during our fire suppression efforts. During that project, the roads leading to the project were improved. That provided us quick access for the fire apparatus to establish control line and helps establish control lines on one of the flanks. Wildland crews from Truckee Meadows worked on the project and had expanded knowledge of the fuel types, road access, and fuel breaks along the power line, which expedited suppression activities. One section of the fire perimeter of the fire perimeter held directly due to the work that was being done, and that is the piece directly to the right of the substation on the visual. The partnership between NV Energy and TMFPD also provided the equipment and personnel that aided in the suppression activities on top of our normal response capabilities that would have been dispatched anyway. The fire did spot into an area outside the treated pole line, but due to sparse fuels, it did not carry, and that is the spot to the top and to the left of the main body of the fire that you see in the map there, just short of the Nevada state line. As is always the case, collaboration and teamwork were crucial to this success story, both regarding fuels management as well as the fire response. On the night of October 24th, over a dozen agencies and entities, both from the California and Nevada side, participated in the response, leading to its successful outcome. A large thank you is appropriate to Washoe County Emergency Management and the folks from Perimeter Software. That is the new evacuation software that we've been talking about over the last year. This was the first time that we went live with it in a real scenario. Huge success overall. That is it for my report, unless there are any questions.
I just want to commend you and your team. Incredible work, and really stop something that could have been very detrimental to our community. So thank you. And how closely do we work with Sierra County?
Very closely. In this scenario, we have mutual aid agreements for where we handle the initial attack because they don't have resources down there.
Okay.
So the first dispatch was all Truckee Meadows units. Then through our other mutual aid agreements, we brought in 7 or 8 other departments, Washoe County Emergency Management, Washoe County Sheriff's Office, Sierra County Law Enforcement. That's what I was referencing, the dozen-plus agencies that were at play here.
And what is our typical response, the time to this type of fire?
Typically, within 5 minutes
Okay.
is when they should be on scene.
I was hearing something different from the community that I represent in Verdi, and so that's good to hear that it's a typical 5-minute response.
For this specific scenario, I'd have to look back at the records for what the time response was. I don't know that off the top.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's very helpful. Any other commissioners have questions? Okay. Well, great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'll move into item number 8A1. Truckee Meadows Water Authority has proposed purchase of a portion of land behind Station 33 that's located at Foothill and Broken Hill Drive. They need to establish and build a new pump station. It's not likely that the district is ever going to need that ground. It was a requirement of the seller that we buy, I think it was 2 acres. So this land is obviously available for a good public purpose, and I think that fits. I just want to make sure that the board would have no objections if I move forward with an appraisal and then start working on a purchase and sale agreement with Tumwa to bring back to the board for approval.
Any board comments? I don't have a problem with that, so looks like no one else does, so that's good.
Very good. Green waste numbers are embedded in the chief's memo. I want to mention, though, that over the years and the amount of green waste that we have processed, the public commenter mentioned environmental awareness and sustainability. I always like giving visuals, so if you could imagine this chambers with perhaps high ceiling and consistent floor being filled with green waste, that's about how much we've accumulated, and I'd say perhaps 3 years or so. And with the help of Brett Simmerly from Washoe County Public Works and TM, we've moved a lot of that green waste down to full circle composting, where it will be turned into their soil and compost products for sale to the general public. The county has also taken a large number of those chips for use within the parks system. And so none of that has gone to the landfill. And so it's all being disposed of in an environmentally friendly way. So that's important because if this stuff were to go to the landfill, it's going to contribute to methane production when it decomposes. And if we were to burn it, it just simply releases that carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere from which that was captured by the green waste initially. So I'm very, very proud of this program and the hard work of our fuels crew. This is hard work during the day when they help people unload and they chip it on the spot. They're pretty tired at the end of the day, so hats off to the fuels crews that get this job done for us. I know it's a program that the public just really enjoys. Hopefully they pass those comments on to you as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I need a water break. My throat's a little scratchy today. On the capital projects update, I want to mention that the Board of Adjustments approved the SUP for the Apple Fire Station. Commissioner Andriola had asked for some information about where that site actually is, so I've given you the staff report for the Board of Adjustments meeting that just occurred. I think it was November, I forget, recently. So that was approved, and we have a proposal that's being considered by Apple right now for the architecture to finish it to shovel-ready status. We have a similar proposal for the Washoe Valley Station, which I'll bring back to the board most likely in December, actually for both. And then the architect will be going full speed ahead on design development and construction documents. So when that's completed, we will have a project ready to go. Still working on the financing pieces, but nevertheless, I'm optimistic that we will have this, maybe start pushing some dirt around late summer of next year. And when we actually dig the hole, it could be late fall for the foundations. And then moving on to the strategic plan update, I had hoped that we would have had some EOC numbers to compare ourselves to our regional partners, Reno, Sparks, perhaps Carson City. I know our HR manager, Carla, is working on that comparison. We'll bring that back. But what we have done since we first presented this to you is we have our goal teams working on each particular initiative, so that we're going to list out the first initial steps.
Great.
And then I think we'll give you a brief report perhaps in January and then ask the board to consider adoption of the strategic plan. So I'll still be communicating with you on the steps that we're taking, but we're moving forward towards completion and final adoption.
Thank you for your work on that after board comments, Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And then finally, the monthly report is in your board packets. I'll just let that report stand unless there's any particular questions.
Okay, looking to the board, is there any questions for the chief? Not seeing any. Great. Well, we will move on to item 9, Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 9 is a recommendation to approve a health benefits program for district employees, dependents, and retirees for an estimated total cost to the district of $3 million, and authorize the chair of the Board of Fire Commissioners to execute all insurance contracts and service agreements pertinent to the approved health benefits program for calendar year 2024. And if you'd like a presentation on that, we could certainly give you one. Ms. Uribiaga is probably the most knowledgeable about where we're at with that, but
I'm looking to the board seeing if y'all need any background on this. I think that the team did a really good job trying to keep the cost low and also provide great benefits to our employees. So thank you for that. All right, if there isn't any board questions or need for a presentation, I am looking for a motion, please.
Madam Chair. I move to approve the presented health benefits program for district employees, dependents, and retirees, and authorize the chair of the Board of Fire Commissioners to execute all insurance contracts and service agreements pertinent to the approved health benefits program for calendar year 2024.
Thank you,
Second.
Commissioner Andriola, and Vice Chair Herman is a second. Any questions on that motion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, any public comment?
No one was signed in.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Hearing none, you get on your screen. I think that passes unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, we will now move into item 10. Chief.
Item 10 is a recommendation to approve the purchase and installation of two 3,000-gallon water tanks from the Westmark Service Centers on two district-owned water tenders for a cost of $84,116.13, each for a total purchase and installation price of $168,232.26. In accordance with NRS 332.115.1 and C and D, exemptions to requirements for competitive bidding. And Chief Kettering will give you just a
Okay.
brief presentation on this.
Welcome, Chief.
Good morning. For the record, Chris Kettering, Deputy Chief, Truckee Meadows Fire. The agenda item is the approval for two water tanks for our existing water tenders. They're 2005. They have low mileage. They're in great condition. We've just struggled with the cracks in the water tanks from the use of it. And our mechanics have tried over the years to repair them using different methods. They just can't do anything more with those tanks. So we're seeking approval to purchase those tanks so we can extend their lives. The mileage on those vehicles or apparatus is about 32 to 37,000 miles. They still have a lot of years. They're in great condition. The company that we chose meets our specifications. The other thing that we want to do with these tanks is actually change the design a little bit to make it easier for our staff to get the folded tanks that they need and the suction hose that they need when they use those tenders. So we're going to change the design, and they were able to match our specifications for that apparatus in those tanks. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
So since we didn't do the competitive bidding on this piece, do we have an idea of what a similar piece would look like or cost the district, correct?
We did reach out for quotes.
Okay.
It happened that this company was the cheapest. And
Okay.
it met our specifications, so it worked out perfectly
right.
to sole source this one.
Thank you for the clarity. All right, any board questions or comments on this? Yes, Commissioner Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just had some questions about what caused the other tanks to crack? What are the materials? Are the aluminum tanks?
They're stainless steel tanks,
Stainless steel.
and we are going to purchase stainless steel tanks. Something with this design on this tank was causing them to crack. And from what our lead mechanic explained to me, as they weld that stainless steel, it weakens it. And the more welds that they would put on it, with that heat next to it, it weakens that stainless steel even more, and so it just continued to crack. We also tried to seal the inside of the tank in conjunction with welding it, and that sealant is now coming off, and now it's getting sucked into our water pumps and creating blockages in those pumps. So we need to get those tanks off those apparatus.
So again, were the cracks in, were the welds to attach the welds were used to attach it to the truck frame? Is that?
No, it's the actual welds on the tank itself.
Okay.
So it's in 3 different sections, and it's actually lowered towards that chassis. And once they take that tank off, the company is going to look at some different type of platform to help alleviate that. It happens to be with these 2 apparatus. We do have 2 other water tenders that have steel tanks. We've never had a problem with the crack in the tank.
And last question, is there any salvage value in those 2 tanks that are cracked? Are they going to try and repair those once they're off the apparatus?
You know, I don't know what the company's going to do when they take them off, but I'll get back to you on what the plan is from our fleet manager with the stainless steel itself. I'm assuming they would just recycle the metal.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board questions or comments? I'm not seeing any. Any public comment, Madam Clerk?
There is none.
Okay, then I am looking for a motion at this point.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the 2 water tanks as outlined in the staff report.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia.
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Herman. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that passes unanimously. We will now move on to item 11.
Madam Chair, item 11 is a recommendation to approve a second memorandum of understanding between Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District, Washoe County, and Apple Incorporated, which defines the next steps in the development and processes for design and pre-construction services for the Apple Fire Station, and the respective duties and responsibilities for each party. And if approved, authorize the chair to sign the agreement. So this memorandum then takes us from what was schematic design now into design development and the actual construction plans for the station. The architect has given Apple a proposal which they've approved. We similarly have looked at the proposal, and that's fine. It's the same architect that's going to design Washoe Valley, so I've said a number of times that the stations are virtually identical between Apple and Washoe Valley, and we'll be bringing a similar proposal for the architectural services for Washoe Valley to you in December. But what happens with this is that Apple pre-funds the services. We manage the project. We work with the architect through our construction manager, pay the architect, and Apple reimburses us.
That's what we like to hear in these tight economic times, so that's great. Any questions by the board for the chief? I'm not seeing any. Then I am looking for, Madam Clerk, any public comment?
No one has signed
Okay,
in. Yeah.
thank you. I am looking for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to approve a second memorandum of understanding that defines the next steps and processes for design and pre-construction services for the Apple Fire Station and the respective duties and responsibilities of each party between Washoe County, Apple Inc., and Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District, and authorize the chair to sign the agreement.
Thank you. And thank you, Commissioner Andriola, second by Vice Chair Herman. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. And that motion passes unanimously. Thank you. We will now move on to item 12.
Item 12 is a recommendation to approve Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District Resolution TM 22-2023 to augment the district's fiscal year 2023-2024 capital projects fund in the amount of $1,869,800 and direct staff to make the appropriate budget adjustments. This money, as a board, as I mentioned to you in an update email, the district does not have any kind of dedicated tax levy for capital projects. We fund capital through savings in each and every budget year. The board may also recall that you approved the purchase of 3 Type 1 fire trucks that will be here in another 3 years. So the plan is to save $1 million a year in the next 3 years to fund those with cash. So $1 million of that will go to the fund to pay for those new fire trucks that are coming. And the remainder of that is for a number of other capital projects that we have listed and ready to go once the board will approve that.
Great. Any questions by the board? Not seeing any. Madam Clerk, any public comment?
There is none.
Okay, then if there's no other questions, I'm looking for a motion.
Well, first, may I just really quickly say thank you for providing the information and sharing that your commitment to looking at always trying to balance funding. And so I really appreciate the additional explanation and reminder of the, $1.8 million plus here, that it really is augmented to a certain extent. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate the Apple Station and being in District 4 as well. So, Madam Chair, I move to approve Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District Resolution TM 22-2023 to augment the district's FY 23-24 Capital Projects Fund in the amount of $1,869,800 and direct staff to make the appropriate budget adjustments.
Thank you, Commissioner Andriola. Looking for a second.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. And I think that also passes unanimously. Yes. Well, that should be 5. That was 4-0, Madam Clerk. Anyway, if you could correct that record. Thank you. Great. So we are looking to head into item 13. Chief, if you'll outline what that looks like.
Sure. Item 13 is a possible closed session for the purpose of discussing labor issues with Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District per NRS 288.220. Before you would move upstairs for that, I'd like to recommend that we do items 14 and 15.
Great.
And then upstairs, we'll do item 13, in which we'll adjourn upstairs in the caucus room.
Okay, so we will go to item 14 and 15 and then do our closed session. So now we are moving on to item 14. Chief.
Item 14 is Commissioners, Fire Chiefs announcements, requests for information, topics for future agendas, and statements relating to items not on the agenda.
Do you have anything for us, Chief?
I do not.
What about the rest of the board? Not seeing that there is anything. Great. We will now move into item 15. Chief.
Item 15 is final public comment. Comment heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the Board of Fire Commissioners agenda. The district will also hear public comment during individual action items with comment limited to 3 minutes per person. The comments are to be made to the Board of Fire Commissioners as a whole.
Madam Clerk.
No one is signed in?
Okay. Well, with that, we will move up to the caucus room and take item 13, and then we'll adjourn up there. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.